In the heart of Seoul's most prestigious business district stood the towering glass monument of Kim Corporation, an empire that commanded respect across continents. 7 brothers ruled this kingdom with an iron fist, each one a force of nature in their own right. Their names were whispered in boardrooms, from New York to Tokyo, their decisions shaping economies, and their mere presence commanding silence. Kim Seo-jin, the eldest at 28, was the CEO, whose sharp intellect and unwavering composure had transformed their father's modest company into a global powerhouse. His office on the top floor was a sanctuary of order, where multi-billion-dollar deals were sealed with nothing more than his subtle nod. Yniee, 27, was the CFO whose analytical mind could dissect financial markets like a surgeon's scalpel. He spoke in numbers and percentages, his rare smiles worth more than gold to those who witnessed them. Hose. Okay. 26. Ran international operations with the precision of a military general. His cheerful demeanor, in private, a stark contrast to his ruthless efficiency in business. Namjoon, 25, headed the legal department. His philosophical nature and strategic thinking-making him a formidable force in corporate warfare. Hymin, 24, controlled public relations and marketing, his charming exterior hiding a calculating mind that could manipulate public opinion with surgical precision. Taeyoung, 23, managed technology and innovation, his artistic soul finding expression in revolutionary designs that left competitors scrambling. And Jungkook, the youngest at 21, was still completing his business degree while already serving as the company's strategic advisor. His grades perfect, his instincts sharper than men twice his age. Together, they were known as the 7 Dragons of Kim Corporation. Cold, calculating, and utterly untouchable, they moved through the world like silent storms, their very presence shifting the atmosphere around them. Board members trembled when they walked into conference rooms. Competitors fled markets rather than face their wrath, and the media painted them as the most powerful and unreachable men in the business world. But every storm has its eye, every dragon has its treasure. And for the Kim brothers, that treasure came in the form of a 3-year-old hurricane named Yniee. The morning sun painted the Kim mansion in golden hues, as chaos erupted in the kitchen. Pots clattered, voices raised in panic, and somewhere in the middle of it all, a tiny figure with pigtails and mischievous eyes giggled with pure delight. Seo-jin. What in heaven's name is happening here? The eldest Kim brother stood in the doorway of their massive kitchen, his impeccably tailored suit a stark contrast to the flower-covered chaos before him. His voice, usually commanding immediate silence in boardrooms, now carried a hint of exasperated fondness. Yniee, Jinny Oppa. Yniee make pancakes for oppas. The 3-year-old beamed up at him from where she stood on a chair, her tiny hands covered in batter. Her clothes dusted with flour, and her hair somehow managing to have eggshells tangled in it. Around her, 3 nannies and 2 kitchen staff looked like they'd survived a natural disaster. Mrs. Han, head nanny. I'm so sorry, Mr. Kim. She woke up early and insisted on surprising you all with breakfast. We tried to stop her, but she's so fast and… Yniee. No, stop, Yniee. Yniee chef today. She brandished a wooden spoon like a sword, batter flying in all directions. 1 drop landed squarely on Seo-jin's expensive tie, and for a moment, the kitchen held its breath. The man who could make grown businessmen weep simply stared at the stain, Then at his baby sister's expectant face. CO Jean. Well then, Chef Yniee, what's on the menu? His transformation was instantaneous. The corporate titan melted away, replaced by a doting older brother, who rolled up his sleeves and stepped into the chaos without hesitation. Yniee, did someone declare war in our kitchen? The second brother appeared, already dressed for work, his hair perfectly styled. But when he saw Yniee covered in flour, his stern expression softened imperceptibly. Yniee, Yniee oppa, try Yniee's pancakes. She held up a lopsided, burnt creation that looked more like abstract art than food. Yniee took it solemnly, examined it with the same intensity. He reserved for financial reports and took a careful bite. Yniee. Needs more sugar, but the creativity is innovative. Yniee, really? Yniee, good chef. She clapped her hands, sending more flour flying. One by one, the other brothers filtered in, drawn by the unusual sounds of morning chaos. Each reaction was the same. Initial shock at the mess, followed by complete surrender to their baby sister's charm. Hoseok, our little sunshine is certainly bright this morning. Namjoon, the kitchen looks like it survived a small explosion. Hymin, Yniee, sweetheart, did you eat more batter than you cooked? Taeyang, this is actually quite artistic. The flour distribution follows an interesting pattern. Jungkook, come here, troublemaker. The youngest brother scooped Yniee up, spinning her around despite the flour that now covered his uniform. Her delighted squeals filled the kitchen, and for a moment, the Kim mansion felt less like a fortress and more like a home. Yniee, cookie oppa. Yniee, fly. Jungkook, you're always flying. Little bird. Now let's get you cleaned up for breakfast. Yniee, but Yniee made breakfast. Seojin, and it was delicious. But now it's time for real food before your oppas go to work. The brothers moved with practiced efficiency, cleaning their sister and the kitchen with a coordination that would have impressed their business rivals. This was their morning routine. Chaos caused by Yniee, followed by gentle correction and overwhelming affection. As they sat around the breakfast table, Yniee perched on Taeyang's lap, stealing bites. From everyone's plates, the brothers discussed their day. Seokjin, board meeting at 10. The Peterson merger needs final approval. Yniee, quarterly reports are due. I'll be in the office until late. Yniee, quarterly reports are due. I'll be in the office until late. Namjoon, court proceedings for the Singapore case start today. Hymin, press conference at 3 for the new product launch. Hoseok, flying to Shanghai tonight. Back Thursday. Thyung, product development meeting all day. Jungkook, exam at university. Then strategy session with the Seoul team. Through it all, Yniee listened with wide eyes, occasionally chiming in with important observations like, Yniee oppa look tired, or Yniee oppa need more pancakes. Yniee, all oppas leave Yniee today. Her lower lip jutted out in a pout that could have melted glaciers. 7 powerful men immediately focused, all their attention on one small girl. Seo Kajin. Just for work, princess. We'll all be home for dinner. Yniee, promise? All brothers, promise. They each kissed her forehead before leaving, their day beginning with the most important meeting of all, reassuring their baby sister that no matter what empire they commanded, she would always be their priority. The afternoon sun blazed mercilessly as Yniee stood in the mansion's expansive garden, her small hands on her hips, surveying her domain like a tiny general. The nannies had given up trying to contain her energy, instead opting to watch from a distance as she explored every corner of the meticulously maintained grounds. Yniee. Kitty. Here, Kitty. Her voice rang out across the garden as she spotted a familiar orange tabby cat near the garden wall. This was Mango, one of several street cats that had made the Kim mansion their unofficial territory, drawn by Yniee's generous heart and endless supply of treats. Mrs. Han. Yniee, sweetheart, stay where we can see you. But Yniee was already running toward the cat, her tiny legs carrying her with surprising speed. Mango meowed in greeting, rubbing against her small hands as she giggled with delight. Yniee. Mango dirty. You need bath like Yniee. She examined the cat with the serious expression of a concerned mother, noting the dust and leaves clinging to its fur. In her 3-year-old logic, the solution was obvious. If baths made her clean and pretty, they would work the same magic on her feline friends. Yniee. Wait here, Mango. Yniee, help. She scampered toward the garden shed. Where the groundskeepers kept their supplies. Her mind already formulating a plan. The staff, thinking she was simply playing her usual games of hide and seek, didn't immediately follow. Inside the shed, Yniee found treasure beyond her wildest dreams. A large plastic basin, a garden hose, and bottles of what she assumed was soap. Actually plant fertilizer, but she couldn't read the labels. With the determination of a woman on a mission, she began to execute her plan. First, she dragged the basin out into the sunshine, grunting with effort as it scraped across the stone path. The sound attracted Mango and 2 other cats. Shadow, a sleek black female, and Patches, a brown and white tom, who was missing part of his ear. Yniee. Perfect. All kitties need bath. She turned on the hose, squealing with delight as water gushed out. The cats, initially curious, began to back away. As they sensed impending doom. Yniee, no, run. Bath good for you. She filled the basin, splashing water everywhere in her enthusiasm. Her white dress was soaked within minutes, her hair dripping, but she was having the time of her life. The warm afternoon sun made the water feel perfect, and she couldn't understand why the cat seemed so reluctant. Mango made the mistake of getting too close, and Yniee pounced with the reflexes of a trained hunter. The cat found himself unceremoniously deposited into the basin, yowling in protest. Yniee, she, Mango. Yniee make you pretty. She began scrubbing the struggling cat with her hands, using what she thought was soap, but was actually liquid plant food. Mango's protests grew louder, attracting the attention of the other cats and finally, the nannies. Mrs. Han. Yniee, what are you doing? But it was too late. The scene that greeted the nannies was one of complete chaos. Yniee, soaked from head to toe, was attempting to bathe 3 increasingly agitated cats. Water covered the stone path, creating small rivers that sparkled in the sunlight. The cats were in various states of wetness and indignation, while Yniee herself looked like she'd gone swimming fully clothed. She pointed to the black cat who was watching, the proceedings from a safe distance, clearly having learned from Mango's misfortune. Mrs. Han. The kitties can clean themselves. Yniee. That's what their tongues are for. Yniee. But Yniee helped better. For the next hour, Yniee continued her mission of mercy, with the nannies attempting damage control. Every time they thought they had her corralled, she would slip away to help another cat. By the time the sun began to set, she was completely exhausted, her small body finally succumbing to hours of playing in water. Mrs. Han. Come on, little one, time for a real bath and some warm clothes. But as they made their way inside, Yniee began to shiver. What had started as fun in the warm afternoon sun had turned into prolonged exposure to water as the temperature dropped. Her lips had a slight blue tinge, and she was quieter than usual. Yniee. Cold, Mrs. Han. Yniee cold. Mrs. Han. Oh no, sweetheart. Let's get you warmed up right away. They rushed her inside, wrapping her in towels and getting her into warm, dry clothes. But by dinner time, it was clear that Yniee's afternoon adventure had consequences. She was listless, her cheeks flushed with fever, and she kept shivering despite being bundled in blankets. Mrs. Han. I think she's getting sick. All that time in the water, I should call the brothers. Yniee. No tell oppers. Yniee okay. Just sleepy. But even as she said it, she curled up smaller in her blanket, her usual boundless energy completely depleted. The Kim Corporation building hummed with its usual late afternoon energy as the brothers wrapped up their respective commitments. In boardrooms and offices throughout the tower, deals were closing, strategies were being finalized, and the business world continued its relentless pace. SEOK Jin Colon. The Peterson merger is approved. Implementation begins. Monday. He spoke to his assistant while reviewing final documents, his mind already moving to the next challenge. In his pocket, his phone remained silent, a good sign that all was well at home. Meanwhile, 3 floors down. Yniee. I was deep in quarterly analysis when his phone buzzed. Yniee. This better be important. Mrs. Han. Mr. Kim. I'm sorry to disturb you, but Yniee is running a fever. She spent most of the afternoon playing in water with the cats. Now she's quite unwell. The numbers on Yniee's screen immediately lost all importance. Yniee. How high is her fever? Have you called Dr. Park? Mrs. Han. 101.5 degrees and climbing. I was about to call the doctor, but I thought you should know first. Yniee. Call Dr. Park. Immediately, I'm alerting the others. We'll all be home within the hour. He immediately sent an emergency message to the family group chat, a communication channel that was only used for Yniee-related crises. Emergency. Yniee sick, fever 101.5, all come home now. The response was immediate and unanimous. Across Seoul, 6 phones chimed simultaneously, and 6 powerful men abandoned everything. Seok excused himself from a meeting with international investors. Hoseok delayed his flight to Shanghai. Namjoon walked out of court proceedings. Himmin cancelled his press conference. Taeyoung left his development team mid-presentation. Jungkook abandoned his exam and raced from the university. The mansion staff watched in amazement as 6 black luxury cars arrived within minutes of each other, their occupants converging on the house like a force of nature. Seok Jin. Where is she? He burst through the front door, still in his business suit, but with his tie loosened. and his usually perfect hair slightly disheveled from running. Mrs. Hahn. In her room, sir? She's been asking for all of you. They took the stairs two at a time, their expensive shoes thundering on the marble steps. The door to Yniee's room opened to reveal their worst nightmare. Their vibrant, chaotic little sister lying pale and still in her bed, surrounded by concerned staff members. Yniee, Oppas. Her voice was barely a whisper, but it cut through them like a knife. She tried to sit up when she saw them, but her small body was too weak. "Okay, Jin. We're here, princess. All of us." He immediately went to her bedside, pressing his palm to her forehead. The heat radiating from her small body made his heart clench. "Yniee, this fever is too high. Where's Dr. Park?" "Dr. Park? I'm here." The family physician entered, carrying his medical bag. Dr. Park had been treating the Kim family for 15 years and was one of the few people who truly understood the brothers' devotion to their sister. "Dr. Park, let me examine her." As the doctor approached, Yniee shrank back into her pillows. "Yniee, no. One Oppas only." Her voice was weak but determined. She reached for Jungkook, who immediately sat beside her and took her small hand. "Jungkook, I'm right here. Little bird. Dr. Park just wants to help you feel better." "Yniee, don't like doctor. Only one Oppas." "Dr. Park, she needs to be examined. And given her symptoms and the prolonged exposure to water, she likely needs antibiotics. I can prescribe oral medication, but an injection would be more effective given her current state." The word injection hung in the air like a death sentence. Every brother knew what was coming. "Taeyoung, an injection? Isn't there another way?" "Dr. Park, her fever is high and she's showing signs of respiratory congestion. The injection will work faster and more effectively. Yniee, what injection?" "Yniee, no understand." She looked between the adults with growing suspicion. Her fever-glazed eyes beginning to show alarm. "Hymin, it's like medicine, sweetheart. To make you feel better. Yniee, medicine tasty? Like strawberry?" The brothers exchanged glances. They all knew Yniee's absolute terror of needles, a fear that had been established during her last vaccination when she was 2. "Dr. Park, I'll prepare the injection. It would be best if you could keep her calm. Namjoon, Yniee. You know how Oppas always take care of you." "Yniee, yes. Oppas best. Keep Yniee safe. Namjoon, this medicine will help you get better so you can play with the kitties again. Yniee, mango. Okay? And Shadow?" "Hoseok, all the kitties are fine. Sunshine. They're waiting for you to feel better, so you can play with them again." Dr. Park returned with a syringe, and despite his attempts to hide it, Yniee's sharp eyes immediately spotted it. Yniee. "What that?" Her voice pitched higher with fear. "Dr. Park, this is the medicine to make you better, sweetheart." "Yniee, nitrogen monoxide. No needle." "Yniee, nitrogen monoxide want." What happened next would later be referred to by the household staff as the Great Chase of 2025. Despite her fever and weakened state, pure adrenaline shot through Yniee's small body. She bolted from the bed with surprising speed, her tiny bare feet slapping against the marble floor. "Seojin, Yniee, wait!" But she was already out the door. Her small form disappearing down the hallway, like a tiny ghost in her white NIGHTGOWN. "Jungkook, I'll get her." The youngest brother sprinted after her, his athletic training finally put to use in the most important chase of his life. Behind him, 6 other men in expensive suits ran through their mansion like it was a playground. Yniee, nitrogen monoxide needle. Yniee, run. She darted into the main living room, diving behind the massive sofa. Her brothers surrounded the furniture like a special operations team. Yniee, princess, come out. The medicine won't hurt much. Yniee, nitrogen monoxide, believe. Needle's bad. She popped up from behind the sofa and made another run for it, heading toward the kitchen. The household staff watched in amazement as 7 of the most powerful men in Seoul crawled around furniture, trying to coax a 3-year-old out of hiding. Jimin, sweetheart, what if Oppa gets the injection too? We can be brave together. Yniee, him and Oppa nitrogen monoxide need medicine. Only Yniee's sick. She was now under the dining room table Commodore, and her logic was frustratingly sound. Taeyoung, what if we make it a game? Yniee, nitrogen monoxide games with needles. The chase continued through the mansion. Yniee, despite her fever, seemed to have supernatural energy when motivated by fear. She led her brothers through every room, hiding behind curtains, under beds, and even briefly in a large vase in the entrance hall. Hose. Okay, Colon, how is someone so small so fast? He was breathing heavily, his usually perfect appearance now disheveled. Namjoon, she's running on pure adrenaline. Dr. Park, we really need to give her this injection soon. Her fever is still rising. After 20 minutes of chaos, Jungkook finally managed to corner her in the library. She was hiding behind a shelf of books, her small chest heaving with exertion, her cheeks flushed, even brighter with fever and fear. Jungkook, come here, little bird. You're making yourself sicker by running. Yniee, Cookie Oppa promised no needle? Jungkook, I promise it will be over very quickly, and then you'll feel so much better. It wasn't the promise she wanted. And her face crumpled with the realization of betrayal. Yniee, Cookie Oppa mean. All Oppas mean. But her energy was finally depleting. Jungkook gently scooped her up, and she didn't have the strength left to fight him. Jungkook, I'm sorry. Yniee, sometimes Oppas have to do things you don't like to keep you safe. They returned to her bedroom, where Dr. Park waited with infinite patience. The other brothers surrounded the bed, their hearts breaking as Yniee looked at them with hurt and fear in her eyes. Yniee, please no needle. Yniee, be good. Yniee, eat vegetables. Yniee, no play with water again. Her bargaining broke them all. Seok-jin had to turn away, his jaw clenched tight. Dr. Park, I need someone to hold her steady. Taehyung, I'll do it. He sat on the bed and gently pulled Yniee onto his lap, wrapping his arms around her small trembling body. Taehyung, look at me, little star. Just look at Oppa. Yniee. Taeoppa, please. Yniee scared. Taehyung, I know, sweetheart. But remember, when you were scared of the dark and Oppa stayed with you all night. And you were so brave. Yniee, yes, but this different. This scary. Taehyung. Oppa is holding you. Nothing can hurt you when Oppa is holding you. Dr. Park approached with the syringe. Yniee immediately sensed the shift in the room's energy. Nitro. Monoxide. Taeoppa, don't let him. She began to struggle against Taeyong's gentle but firm hold, her small fists hitting his chest. Thyung. Just look at me. Tell me about the kitties. How many kitties did you help today? Yniee. 3 kitties. But Tayo PP, gash. Dr. Park moved quickly. But Yniee felt the approaching needle and let out a scream that seemed impossible from such a small body. Yniee. Nyu. Help. Somebody help Yniee. In her panic and desperation, as Dr. Park's hand came close to administer the injection, Yniee did the only thing her 3-year-old mind could think of. She turned her head and bit down on his hand, with all the force her small bunny-like teeth could muster. Dr. Park. Ow, oh my. Dr. Park jerked his hand back instinctively, the syringe still in his other hand, staring in shock at the tiny teeth marks on his skin. For a moment the entire room froze in stunned silence. Yniee. Yniee bite. No touch Yniee. She glared at Dr. Park with fierce determination, her small chest heaving, looking exactly like Jungkook when he was determined about something. The same stubborn set to her jaw, the same fire in her eyes. Jungkook. Did she just... Yniee. She bit the doctor. Hose okay Colon. Our baby sister. Bit the doctor. There was a mixture of horror and barely contained laughter in their voices. Dr. Park looked at his hand, then at the tiny girl, who was still glaring at him defiantly. Dr. Park. Well, in 30 years of practice, I've been scratched by cats, kicked by patients, but I've never been bitten by someone so small, yet so determined. Hyung. Yniee, we don't bite people, sweetheart. Yniee. Colon he try hurt. Yniee. Yniee defend. Her logic was flawless in her mind, and the way she puffed out her cheeks in defiance was so similar to Jungkook's stubborn expressions that Hyman had to cover his mouth to hide his smile. Seokjin. I'm so sorry, Dr. Park. She's never done anything like this before. Dr. Park, it's quite all right. Actually, those are some impressively sharp little teeth. She could probably give her brother Jungkook a run for his money. Yniee Colon. Yniee teeth very strong. Like Cookie Oppa. She seemed proud of this comparison, showing off her small white teeth like they were weapons. Jungkook Colon. Hey, I don't bite people. Yniee. But Cookie Oppa have bunny teeth like Yniee. Dr. Park Colon. Well, Miss Yniee. Now that you've established your defensive capabilities, can we try this again? I promise to be very quick. Yniee. Colon. Dr. Park hand, okay? Yniee sorry for bite, but scared. Her sudden concern for the doctor she just attacked was so endearing that Dr. Park smiled despite the throbbing in his hand. Dr. Park, I'm perfectly fine, sweetheart. You have very small teeth. Yniee. But very sharp teeth. Dr. Park. Very sharp indeed. Now, can you be brave without using those sharp teeth? The injection was finally administered quickly, but to Yniee, it felt like an eternity. The moment she felt the needle pierce her skin, something inside her snapped. Her screams turned into breathless sobbing that shook her entire frame. Yniee. Oppa's hate. Yniee. 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 Her words came between gasping sobs, each one hitting the brothers like physical blows. Tears streamed down her flushed cheeks as She struggled to breathe through her crying. No. Sweetheart, no. Oppas love Yniee more than anything in the world. But she was inconsolable, her small body racked with sobs. That seemed to steal all her breath. This was the one thing the Kim brothers couldn't handle. Their baby sister's tears, especially when they were the cause. Seok Jin : Princess, please stop crying. You're making yourself sicker. His own voice was thick with emotion as he reached for her. But she turned away from him. Yniee, all oppas mean don't love. Yniee. Hymin, that's not true, sweetheart. We love you so much. That's why we had to let Dr. Park help you. Yniee. If love Yniee, no. Let Doctor hurt. Our logic was 3-year-old perfect and completely devastating. Yunji sank into a chair, running his hands through his hair, as he watched his baby sister break their hearts with every tear. Dr. Park, the injection is done. She should start feeling better within a few hours. I'll leave some fever-reducing medication and instructions. He quietly packed his supplies and left, sensing that the family needed privacy for their emotional crisis. For several minutes, Yniee continued to sob breathlessly, while her brothers watched helplessly. Nothing they said could console her, and her tears seemed endless. Hoseok, sunshine please. You're scaring Oppas. Yniee. Oppas. Scared. Yniee. First. Finally, exhaustion began to win over heartbreak. Her sobs slowly quieted to hiccups. Then to shuddering breaths. She was still turned away from all of them. Her small body curled into a tight ball. Namjoon. Yniee, can you look at Oppas? Yniee, no matter Oppas. Jungkook, we understand you're mad, little bird. But we need you to get better. Yniee. Could tell Yniee about needle. Yniee very brave when know what coming. This simple statement from their 3-year-old sister hit them like a revelation. They had tried to protect her by not explaining, but she would have been braver if she'd understood. Seojin, you're absolutely right, princess. Oppa's made a mistake. We should have explained everything to you. Slowly. Yniee turned to look at him, her eyes red and swollen from crying. Yniee, really? Seojin, really? We're sorry we scared you. Next time, we'll explain everything first. Yniee. And no chase? Taeyoung, well, that depends on whether you run away again. Despite everything, this earned him a tiny, watery smile. Yniee. Yniee fast runner. Jungkook. The fastest. You nearly outran all your oppas. Yniee. But Cookie Oppa catch Yniee. Jungkook. Only because you got tired. You're definitely faster than me. She considered this seriously, then held out her arms to him. Yniee, Cookie Oppa carry Yniee. Arm hurt where Dr. poked. Jungkook immediately gathered her into his arms, his heart clenching at how small and fragile she felt. Jungkook, of course, little bird. Does it hurt a lot? Yniee, little bit. But Oppa's here, so okay. One by one, the brothers surrounded the bed, each taking turns to apologize and shower her with gentle affection. They brought her favorite blanket, her stuffed elephant, and promised her anything she wanted for dinner. Yniee, want ice cream for dinner. Yoonji. When you're feeling better, you can have ice cream for breakfast if you want. Yniee. Really? Even chocolate ice cream? Oziok. Even chocolate ice cream with sprinkles. As the evening progressed, the medication began to work. Yniee single quotes S fever broke, and her energy slowly returned. The brothers took turns staying with her, reading stories, singing songs, and generally treating her like the most precious thing in their universe. Himim. Are you feeling better, sweetheart? Yniee. Much better. Medicine worked good. Namjoon. See? Sometimes doctors know what they're doing. Yniee. But next time, tell Yniee first. All brothers. Next time we'll tell you everything. Yniee. And maybe Yniee be brave without running? Taeyoung. Maybe. But if you need to run, Oppas will understand. She snuggled deeper into her blankets, surrounded by her 7 protectors. Yniee Kolom Oppas best Oppas in whole world. Seok Jin. And Yniee is the best little sister in the whole universe. Yniee. Even when Yniee naughty. Oziok. Especially when you're naughty. That's when you're most like us. As she drifted off to sleep, the Kim brothers remained vigil around her bed. These men who commanded empires and shaped world markets had been brought to their knees by one small girl's tears. But they wouldn't change a single thing about their chaotic, mischievous, loving little sister. Yniee. Tomorrow, help kitties again. Jungkook. Tomorrow we'll help you help the kitties. The right way. Yniee. With warm water. Yoongi Kolon. With whatever you need, princess. And as the mansion settled into peaceful quiet, 7 brothers made a silent pact. Their little thunder could turn their world upside down any time she wanted. They would always be there to catch her when she fell, to chase her when she ran, and to love her through every storm she created. After all, some storms are worth weathering, especially when they come in the form of a 3-year-old girl who holds your entire heart in her tiny hands.